I'm here with Darla Price, who is one of the directors of an organization called NAPS. Tell us briefly what NAPS is, but tell us more than that, how God brought you and your family into this movement so you became one of the leaders.
Well, NAPS is the National Association for the Prevention of Starvation. It's a group that has been around for now 40 years, serving all over the world. NAPS has been to over 23 countries, visited over 40 states, going to our schools, our churches, encouraging young people and training them to become leaders of their church. And I am one of the young people whose lives have really been impacted, not just by NAPS, but really by our church. And I think about when my family was not Adventist, okay? We weren't Adventist, and we were really headed down the wrong path. Not because we wanted to do wrong, but we didn't know what right was. And I think about the impact the church had on our lives, from the Bible workers, the people that came and actually started inviting my family to evangelistic meetings, or even once we got to the evangelistic meetings, my family, my mom actually, the evangelistic she went to, the pastor was one of those pastors that challenge, if you can find one text on that says that Sunday is the true day of worship, I'll pay you $1,000. So my mom was like, I need money. So she was more than willing to go. She went to other pastors, Baptist pastors, asked them, and they didn't have answers. They were just like, stay away from that church. And that just did something wrong in my mom's soul. But after that, it didn't just end there. My family did become baptized, but then it was the church that kept them there. So many people get baptized, but I want to say that after baptism, there were people that came, and my church was very active. They had youth ministries. There was something from the youngest child, adventurers and pathfinders. Then you have Adventist education. I had the honors of being raised through the Adventist education from elementary, high school, middle school, even college. And it was work, and we didn't always have the money, even community service. Sometimes you might feel like, am I really making the impact? But my family was one of those families, whenever they gave out that food after church, we would always scrounge, everybody grab as much as you can, because our family was really struggling. That's how we got through Adventist education. It was a struggle every single month. And I just think about I don't want to leave anything off, because I feel like so many people who will never know the thanks or the impact that they made on my family and my life, they're never going to get to hear the real thank you. But even health ministries, because my family didn't know what was healthy or what was not, alcohol could cause this problem. The fact that health and temperance was taught at my church and emphasized, it just changed so much. So my family, which was headed one direction, all of a sudden, in a matter of, just a few people choosing to do what God had called them to do, is now headed on the right path. And it didn't really just impact me, because now I'm coming through, I'm taught to serve, and now I've been able to join this group, NAPS, who over the past 40 years, I haven't been in it 40 years, but I've been able to travel with the group to now over 13 different mission trips internationally. I've been able to travel to countless states, hundreds of schools, our Adventist schools and public schools even, going to churches as well, talking to youth groups, and inspiring young people that God has a purpose for their life. And so I'm saying all of this. And most importantly, when we go on these trips, over 20,000 people have been baptized. And so I'm saying all this because I don't know what position you hold in the church or what exactly God has called you to. But I want to encourage you that you can't mess up God's work. God has called you to it. He chose you. And these are things I have to tell myself, because now my husband and I, we lead in one of the 3 campuses NAPS has. They have one in Mississippi, one in Sawyerville, and then we lead in Huntsville, where we train the college students. And the honest truth is, God chose you for this, for whatever position He's putting you in. You aren't strong enough to mess up what God has called you to do. And so I want to encourage you, don't give up. Discouragement only comes from the enemy. That's from Mind, Character, and Personality. Mind, Character, and Personality by Ellen White. Discouragement only comes from the devil. So when we allow that to direct us, who are we really following? So be encouraged. Don't give up. You're making differences in many lives.
Amen. And to learn more about NAPS, what's the website again?
www.napsoc.org. So napsoc.org.
Awesome. God is at work. Thanks so much for sharing.